The Pacific Ocean, covering nearly a third of the surface, is a
The crushing,
dynamic engine
silent
of
dark,
weather and
a
life.
mile beneath the waves, a living mountain.
The turbulent
is breathing.
waters off the Oregon
It
coast
is a slow,
are a
rhythmic
testament to the
respiration
raw
measured
power
not
of
in
the Pacific.
seconds, but in
Plunging
years,
rapidly
in
beneath the
decades.
waves,
Each
we leave the sunlit
inhalation is a
epipelagic
quiet
zone
swelling
and enter
of
the
the Earth's own
mysterious
skin, a
depths of the
gathering of
twilight zone.
incandescent energy from the planet's core. This place
We
has no
continue
light,
our
no
descent
seasons,
into the
no sense
abyssal
of
zone.
day or night. There is only the
At
immense
critical pressure
bone-deep
levels,
pressure
the
of the
steel beam
Pacific and the
violently
patient
crumples,
growing
demonstrating
heat from
the
within.
extreme forces involved in this
This
hostile
is
environment
Axial
simulation.
Seamount, a titan asleep on the seafloor.
As the submersible
and for
descends
years we
further
thought we
into
had
the
learned
abyss,
the rhythm of its slumber.
lights
We
reveal a
believed
stark
we had
volcanic
deciphered
landscape.
its geologic dreams. We were wrong. The story
Rising
of this
from the
colossal
abyssal
submerged
plain,
volcano
this
is
colossal
not just one of
seamount
rock
is a
and
stark
fire.
reminder.
It is a tale of human ingenuity, of our relentless desire to chart the unknown and predict the seemingly unknowable. It is a narrative written in seismic waves and subtle shifts in the seabed, a drama played out
Here
in
we see
streams
the
of
raw
data
power of
that
the
travel
Earth's
from
inner
the
fire,
abyssal plane to
where the magma
laboratories
chamber
filled with
pulses
watchful
directly
eyes.
beneath the axial
For nearly a
seamount.
decade,
Look at the
humanity
fluctuation
has
on the
maintained
thermistor
an
array.
unprecedented vigil here, an extraordinary network of sensors, our technological nervous system grafted onto the flank of this
This
deep-sea
timeline
behemoth.
illustrates the
And
volcano's
this system
rhythmic
had given
cycle.
us a
As
profound,
the magma
almost
chamber
hubristic
inflates,
confidence.
pressure builds.
We had felt the
This
mountain's
1998
pulse.
footage captured a rare
We had measured
deep-sea
its
event,
feverish intake of
showcasing
molten
the raw
rock,
power of the
and
eruption.
we had made a forecast, a promise of geologic fire. The eruption was expected. The models built on decades of observation and two previous
As
successes
the magma
were
chamber
all in
emptied,
agreement.
the massive
The great
eruption led to
caldera
a
was
swift and
swollen,
dramatic collapse
stretched
of
to
the
its
caldera
limit.
structure.
The internal
The moment
pressure
the
was
molten
reaching
rock
a
hits the
critical
seawater,
threshold.
vast clouds of
Sometime in
steam are generated
2024,
in a
the
process
deep
known as
Pacific
laze
was
formation.
supposed to boil.
As
The
the data
seafloor was
reveals,
expected
the
to crack
seafloor
open,
experienced
unleashing
significant
torrents of
uplift and
primordial
sudden
lava
drops in
into the frigid
1998.
abyss. But the
Based on
appointed
these
year came,
trends, we are
and the ocean
forecasting the
floor
next
remained
eruption
quiet.
window
The
to open
anticipated
within the
paroxysm
next
did not
48
arrive.
hours.
The subterranean giant, after signaling its imminent awakening, simply continued its slow, deep breath, holding its power in reserve. The Earth had teased us, dangling the spectacle of creation before our eyes, only to pull it back into the depths,
The
delaying its
magma chamber
performance
beneath the
until
axial seamount is
2026.
swelling,
This delay
stretching
is
the
more
crust
than a revised
taut like a
timeline.
drum.
It is a profound lesson in humility. It is a mystery that challenges our understanding of the very plumbing of our world, forcing us to ask a fundamental question: how can a system so meticulously monitored, so seemingly predictable, still hold such deep and confounding surprises? To understand this puzzle, we must first journey back, not just in time, but down into the alien landscape of the deep ocean. Imagine descending through a column of water over a mile high. The familiar blues of the surface give way to a twilight realm, and then finally to an absolute and eternal blackness. The pressure here is suffocating
This
over
massive cable-laying
250
operation
times
marks
that
the
of the
start of the
surface,
ambitious
enough to crush
Ocean
a military
Observatories
submarine
Initiative.
like a tin can.
Like a nervous system,
The temperature
cables
of the water
converge on the
hovers
seamount,
just above
pulsing
freezing.
with the data
This is a
essential
domain
for
more
understanding this
hostile and less
volcanic
explored
environment.
than
The
the surface
ROVs
of the
work
moon.
quickly to deploy a complex array
And
of
it is
sensors,
here, straddling a
transforming the active
tectonic seam
volcano
in the
into a
planet's
real-time
crust,
deep-sea
that
observatory.
Axial Seamount rises from the abyssal plain. It is a vast, sprawling structure, its base covering more area than the city of Seattle.
Analysis
Its
complete.
caldera,
Elements
a gaping
detected.
mouth 3 miles
Iron,
wide.
manganese,
This is not
sulfur.
a pointed cone like Fuji or Vesuvius. It is
The
a broad,
seismometer detects
shield-like
even the
furnace,
slightest
the
tremor
site
in
of
the abyssal
constant
depths,
geological
transmitting
activity.
data through the
For
fiber
most of
optic
human
cable.
history, this entire
Gleaming
world
under the
was the
harsh
stuff of
ROV
myth.
lights, the array of bottom pressure
The
recorders
seafloor was
monitors
imagined as a
seismic
cold,
activity
dead,
on the abyssal
static
plain.
place. It was the
The
work
bottom
of
pressure
pioneers
recorder
in the
detects even
mid-20th
minute
century
shifts in the
mappers like
seafloor,
Marie Tharp
sending
and
crucial
Bruce
data
Heason,
back
who
to the
first
surface.
revealed the true dynamism of the ocean floor. Their painstaking work unveiled a submerged mountain range that snaked around the entire globe.
The molten
like a
rock
seam on a
accumulates
baseball.
in a vast reservoir
This was the
miles
mid-ocean
beneath the
ridge,
summit,
a
causing the
colossal
chamber to
volcanic
glow
chain
and
where new
expand.
planetary crust is born.
This
Axial
CGI
Seamount
visualization
is a
shows the
particularly
massive
active and
subterranean heart
robust
swelling,
jewel on
causing
this
the
chain,
entire
a
mountain.
nexus point where the Juan de Fuca Ridge, the site of crustal spreading, is intersected by a deep-seated hotspot, a plume of heat from the mantle. It is a place of immense power,
The
a
real-time
wound
data
in the
on the
world's
left
skin that never fully heals. The first true glimpse into this world came with submersibles, brave little crafts venturing into the crushing darkness.
The
In
critical
1,980
threshold has been reached. The immense
seconds,
pressure causes the
explorers
crust to
finally
fracture,
laid eyes on
triggering a
Axial's
catastrophic
caldera,
release.
discovering not a dead landscape,
The
but a
Axial
vibrant,
Seamount remains
thriving
quiet,
ecosystem.
an
They
unnerving
found
silence that
hydrothermal
defies our
vents,
predictions of an
bizarre
eruption.
chimneys of mineral deposits, belching out superheated, chemical-rich water from the planet's interior. These were the famed black smokers, geologic furnaces, creating oases of life in the perpetual night. Around these vents, a startling biology flourished,
The crust
one
behaves
completely
not as a
divorced from the
rigid
sun's
shell,
energy.
but as a resilient,
Giant
expanding
tube worms
balloon.
with blood-red plumes, ghostly white crabs, and swarms of shrimp thrived on a food chain powered by chemosynthesis by microbes that could metabolize the sulfurous compounds gushing from the seafloor. It was a discovery that rewrote the rules of life.
With a larger chamber,
But it also
the pressure is
presented a
distributed over a
tantalizing
wider
scientific
area,
opportunity.
reducing stress on any
Here
single
was a
point of the
volcano
overlying crust.
active and accessible that erupted
The
with
older
a
design
fascinating
quickly
regularity.
reaches critical stress, failing at
If
just
we could understand
2.7 meters.
Axial, we could perhaps understand the fundamental heartbeat of all volcanoes. This dream of understanding led to one of the most ambitious
Instead of cracking
oceanographic
under the pressure,
projects ever
the crust
conceived,
behaves
the
like a
Ocean
sheet of
Observatories
resilient rubber,
Initiative.
stretching
Beginning in the
tautly
late
over the expanding
2000s,
magma
an
chamber.
audacious
The
plan
third
was put into
hypothesis
motion.
suggests that
It was
fluctuations
nothing
in the
less
mantle's
than an
heat
attempt to
dramatically
wire a
slow the
volcano
magma,
for sound
reducing
and
the eruption
sensation
to a mere
to give it a
trickle.
permanent high-bandwidth connection to the world above. Crews laid hundreds of miles of fiber optic and power cables across the seafloor, a Herculean task battling currents, terrain, and the sheer hostility of the deep. These cables formed the backbone of the cabled array, a deep-sea network that brought the internet to the abyss. Connected to this
Reaching
network is a
temperatures
suite of
of over 2,000
sophisticated
degrees
instruments,
Fahrenheit,
a technological
the incandescent
marvel of
lava
human
fountain is a
curiosity
dramatic
placed at
display of
Axial's
geological
summit.
forces.
Imagine a physician attending to a patient of planetary scale. That is the role of this observatory. There are seismometers,
The contact
exquisitely
point is
sensitive ears
explosive,
pressed against
instantly
the rock,
flashing the
listening
water
for
into
the
a
faintest
superheated,
tremors, the
turbulent cloud
telltale
of steam and
cracking and
volcanic
groaning that
ash.
signals magma forcing its way through the crust. These are not the shudders of great earthquakes, but a constant, subtle symphony of microquakes, the pops and creaks of a mountain under immense stress. Then there are the bottom pressure tilt meters. This is where the story
Fractures
of
in the new
prediction
crust
truly
begin to leak
begins.
superheated,
These instruments are the
mineral-laden
key
water,
to observing
heated
the
by the
volcano's
magma
breath.
deep below.
Think of a vast
These hydrothermal vents
subterranean
expel a
chamber
rich
of
soup
molten
of
rock,
dissolved chemicals,
the magma reservoir
including
lying
highly
a few
toxic
miles
hydrogen
beneath
sulfide.
the caldera floor. As this reservoir slowly fills with new material from the
While
mantle,
photosynthesis
it acts like a
harnesses
balloon
this energy
being
near the
inflated.
surface,
The pressure
vibrant
pushes
red plumes
upwards,
you see are
causing
filtering
the
the
entire
mineral-rich
summit of
water
the volcano
billowing from the vent,
to gently,
a true
almost
spectacle of the deep
imperceptibly
sea.
swell and rise.
In the
The
crushing
tilt
darkness of
meters
the
can
deep sea,
detect this
these
movement, a
hydrothermal
change in
vents
slope
create
so
bustling
minuscule
oases,
it's equivalent to
teeming with
measuring the tilt of a mile-long plank being lifted by the thickness of a dime at one end. Year after year, they watch
It's a powerful
the mountain
reminder
bulge.
that life
The
is
observatory's
tenacious,
instruments
finding
create
a foothold
constant
in the
stream of
unlikeliest
data,
of
a
places.
torrent of information flowing 24 hours a day,
we are journeying back in
365
time to
days a
early
year,
Earth,
from the
deep
bottom of
beneath
the
the
ocean
waves,
to
where
laboratories and
scientists
laptops
believe
around the world.
deep
For the
beneath
first
the
time,
primordial
scientists
ocean.
like Bill Chadwick
These
of
vents
Oregon State
provided the
University
energy
and Scott
and the-
Nooner of the University of North Carolina Wilmington,
The superheated
who have
plumes from the
dedicated their
Axial
careers
Seamount
to this
support a
single
vibrant
submarine
ecosystem,
mountain, no
teeming with
longer had to rely on sporadic, ship-based expeditions, they could watch the volcano's vital signs in real time.
Look at the
They were in a
speed of that
constant,
colonization.
intimate dialogue
The
with
resilience
deep
is
Earth.
astonishing.
This
The two
dialogue
worms have
allowed them to
already
build a
established a
remarkably
foothold.
successful
From the
model
depths
of
of the
behavior.
Axial Seamount, we see the true
Axial
scale
had
of the
erupted in
mid-ocean ridge.
1998,
Earth's largest
an
and
event
most
detected
active mountain
after the
chain
fact
is
by
the mid-ocean
observing its
ridge,
aftermath.
a 40,000-mile
It erupted
long chain
again
of
in
volcanoes and
2011,
rifts
this
that
time
encircles
caught in the act
entire
by
planet like the
seismometers
seam on a
temporarily
baseball.
placed on the seafloor. After each of these upheavals, the seafloor would deflate like a lung, exhaling. The ground would
The
sink
process
back
at
down
Axial is
as
a
the magma
microcosm
chamber
of the
emptied
engine
its
of plate
contents
tectonics,
onto the caldera
the force
floor.
that moves
Then
continents
the
and
cycle would
shapes our
begin
world.
anew. The
Axial
slow,
data points
steady
reveal a
inflation would
crucial link
resume.
between seafloor spreading rates
The volcano
and the
would
planet's
start
internal
taking
heat
its
budget.
deep breaths again, the
Axial
seafloor
Seamount
rising at a rate
breathes,
of about
a rhythmic
15
pulse tied to
centimeters
the
or
very
6 inches
geodynamics
per
of the
year.
Earth's crust,
It was a
deep
metronome
within
of
the abyss.
geological time. The scientists developed a simple yet powerful analogy
Below
to
the waves,
grasp
the
this
earth
cycle,
trembles,
a
but must
magmatic
stop.
bank account.
Volcanic eruptions
For
don't
years,
just destroy
the
the
volcano
land.
makes
They
steady
disrupt global
deposits of
travel
molten
and pose
rock into
significant
its
respiratory
reservoir.
risks to
This
those in the
accumulation
exclusion zones.
causes the balance represented by the seafloor height to
As
rise.
you can see, the data is heavily
An eruption
contaminated by
is a
environmental
massive
factors.
withdrawal draining the
While
account.
continental
By
observatories
tracking the
grapple with
deposits after
overwhelming
the
noise,
2011
the
event, the
isolation of the
researchers
deep
could
ocean
calculate
yields a
how
pure,
much magma had
unfiltered
been
transmission.
spent and
The
how
sonar
long
is
it would
showing
take to
significant
replenish
movement
it
at
to the
sector
same
gamma.
critical
Confirming
level.
the seismic
They
anomaly
determined
now.
a breaking point,
We need to
a
adjust the
maximum
ROV
amount
trajectory.
of inflation the crust could tolerate before it would fracture. Their first major test of this hypothesis came in 2015.
The updated
The cabled
2026
array had just
forecast
become
shows a
fully
highly
operational,
resilient crust
providing a
and a
front-row
much
seat
larger
of
active
unprecedented
magma
clarity.
reservoir.
The data
key
showed the
insight here is the
volcano reaching
symbiotic
its
relationship
maximum
that allows
inflation,
for
the
this
very
level of
limit of its
adaptation.
previous cycle.
But how does that affect the
Chadwick
energy
and
cycle
Luna,
we
armed with
observed?
this information,
As the
did
tremors
something once
peaked,
thought
the integrated
impossible.
sensor network
They
illuminated,
publicly forecasted
capturing the
an eruption
cataclysmic
for the year
event with stunning
2015.
clarity.
It was a bold, specific prediction, a gauntlet thrown down to nature. And on April 24, 2015, the volcano answered.
The sensor tastes the
The
first rush of
seismometers
fluids,
went wild.
immediately detecting
Thousands of
elevated
small
levels of methane.
earthquakes rattled the summit. The tilt meters recorded a sudden catastrophic drop. The caldera floor sank by nearly 2.5
A
meters,
treasure for
8 feet, in
generations
a
of
matter of
scientists.
hours.
A
A new
definitive
river of
record
lava
of a
over
living
400
planet.
feet thick
The
poured
Axial
across the
Seamount,
seafloor.
a place
The
of immense
prediction
pressure
was a
and
stunning
profound mystery,
success.
captured
It was a
here in
landmark
stunning
moment
4K.
in volcanology. Humanity had for the first time accurately predicted the eruption of a deep-sea volcano before it happened.
The scientific
It felt
endeavor
like we
is a
had
voyage
finally
into
cracked the
profound
code,
darkness,
like we had learned
illuminated
to read
only
the
by the
planet's
faint
mind.
pulse of data
It was
from the
this very
seafloor.
success that made the next chapter so intriguing. Following the 2015 event, the cycle began once more. The great
Deep
mountain
beneath the Pacific,
exhaled,
the pressure
and then
continues
immediately
to
began
build
its
across the
slow
entire
inhalation.
volcanic caldera.
The seafloor
There is a palpable
started to
tension
rise
in the
again
water.
at that same familiar pace. The magmatic
subterranean
bank
heart
account
of
was
Axial
steadily
Seamount
refilling.
pulses with a
A
slow,
team of investigators
powerful
watched
rhythm.
the data year after year.
In the crushing darkness
They
of
saw the
deep
ground
sea,
swell pushing
superheated
past the
vents
halfway
created-
mark to the next eruption, then 3/4 of the way. The
Here,
number of
in
tiny
the wake of
earthquakes
destruction,
began to increase,
we
a sign
witnessed
of
the
growing
dawn of a
stress
new
within the rock.
ecosystem.
All the
The submersible
indicators were
surveys the
pointing
aftermath,
towards the
its
same
lights
conclusion.
illuminating the dramatic
The
changes to the
volcano was
landscape and the
approaching the
newly
very
formed
same
hydrothermal
level of
vents.
inflation that had triggered the
Look at that, it's
2015
beautiful.
and 2011
They actually
events.
exist.
The models were clear. The breaking point was near. And so another forecast was issued, this time with even greater confidence. The next eruption
the
of
depths,
Axial
the mountain
Seamount was
swells,
predicted for
leading to a sudden, violent
2024.
release.
The global scientific
eruption creates
community
a new world,
watched
and swiftly,
waited.
life moves
This
in,
wasn't just
demonstrating
about
an
one
astonishing
underwater
resilience
mountain
in the
anymore.
deep ocean's darkest
It was a
reaches.
test
A
of our
testament to
predictive
nature's
capabilities,
creative power,
a
where the
validation
stark
of our
darkness
entire
of
model
ancient
for
rock
how these
gives way to
fundamental
vibrant,
planetary
teeming
processes
life.
work. But
As we pull back,
2024
the
arrived,
sheer scale
and the
of the
seafloor
Axial
held
Seamount
firm.
revealed.
The
This
volcano
vibrant
continued to
ecosystem
swell,
confirmed
From the
pushing
crushing
past
depths
its
of our
old
own
breaking
ocean,
point.
we look to the stars, to
It
worlds like
inhaled
Europa,
deeper
where
than
similar
ever
processes
before.
may be
The
unfolding.
ground
The
continued
isotope
to
signature
rise,
confirms
reaching a
it. This
new
material
record
is
for
clearly from the
inflation.
lower mantle.
The tension
We're looking
in
at
the
the very
crust was
first
palpable
direct
in the
evidence of deep
seismic
Earth
data,
volcanism.
yet the catastrophic
As the mass
failure did not
spectrometry
occur.
reveals,
The geologic
composition is
exhalation
rich
was
in
held in check.
pyroxene and olivine.
The system that had been so beautifully, elegantly predictable for 2 decades had suddenly
As we compare
changed
the
its
pre-
rules.
and post-eruption
The
data,
Earth had thrown a
dramatic
curveball
topographic
from a mile beneath the sea. The updated
influx of
forecast
new
now
data
points to
allows us to pinpoint the precise
2026,
pathways
but
of
it is a
pyro-
This new
forecast
data set
tinged with a
confirms the
newfound
global correlation
uncertainty.
we hypothesized.
The question that haunts the researchers
implications
is
for the
profound
research
and
are
complex.
massive.
Why? Why did the mountain not erupt on schedule? The search for an answer opens a fascinating window into the hidden complexities
across
of our
the abyssal
planet's
depths,
inner
the
workings.
ROV documents
Several
a bustling
hypotheses are now
ecosystem
being
thriving
explored,
in the
each
extreme
painting a
conditions of the
picture of a
black
system
smokers.
far more
The story of
nuanced
the
than
Axial
we
Seamount
previously
is a
understood.
continuous loop. Prediction,
One
the long
possibility
wait, discovery,
is that the
and
magma
the new
plumbing
questions
system
that
has
follow.
changed.
As the research
Perhaps the
vessel sails
pathways
toward the
and
horizon,
channels that feed
it
the
leaves
primary
behind the
reservoir
secrets of the
have become
volcano,
wider
now
or more
finally
efficient.
understood.
Imagine the volcano's internal network
A
not
key
as rigid
piece in the
pipes,
puzzle
but as
of
a
our
dynamic
planet.
shifting web of cracks and conduits.
A dynamic,
subtle
living
reorganization
world
deep
whose
within the
deepest
mountain
secrets
could
are
allow
slowly
more
being
magma to be
revealed through
accommodated
human
before
ingenuity
the pressure
and
becomes
persistence.
critical. The chamber
From our
itself
pale
might be
blue
growing
dot,
its
we journey
capacity,
outward,
expanding like
past
a
the
stomach,
familiar landmarks of the
stretching
moon
to
and
hold a
Mars.
larger meal. Another compelling idea relates to the physical properties of the rock itself. The Earth's crust is not a simple, brittle shell. It is a complex material that can bend and stretch before it breaks. The repeated cycles of inflation and deflation may have altered the crust around Axial's caldera, making it more pliable, more elastic. We can visualize this with a simple analogy. Think of a brand new balloon. When you first inflate it, it takes a certain amount of air before it pops. But if you were to inflate it almost to its breaking point, then let the air out, and repeat this process several times, the rubber itself would change. It would become more stretched,
Hydrothermal
more
vents,
compliant.
often
It
called
could
black
then hold
smokers,
slightly
are
more
windows
air
into
on the
Earth's
next
hidden
inflation
biosphere,
before finally
teeming with
failing.
undiscovered life.
These
It's
otherworldly
possible the
creatures,
crust
giant
atop
tube
Axial
worms and
Seamount
specialized
has been
crabs,
exercised
draw their
by
energy
these
not
past
from light,
eruptions,
but
its
from the
breaking
very
point
chemistry of the
subtly
Earth.
but
A powerful
significantly
symbol of
increased.
the
The
ongoing quest
volcano's
for
skin
knowledge.
has become tougher. There is also the matter of the magma itself. Not all magma is created equal. Its temperature, its gas content, its viscosity, all of these factors can influence how much pressure it exerts. A change in the composition of the molten rock being supplied from the mantle could alter the dynamics
long,
of the
slow
whole system.
inhalation
Perhaps the
beginning
current batch of
once more.
subterranean
A
fluid is
cycle
less
that will
gas-rich,
outlast
making
us
it less
all.
explosive, less eager to burst forth. The volcano is not just a passive container, it is a chemical reactor, and a change in the recipe of its primordial soup could delay the moment it boils
In
over.
the perpetual
This
darkness
pause,
of the
this
abyssal plane,
unexpected hesitation
The sensor
is a
array is showing a
scientific
significant
gift.
thermal spike at node 3.
It forces a
We need to
re-evaluation
cross-reference
of our
this with the
models.
seismic data
It reminds
immediately.
us that the Earth is not a machine, not a perfectly repeatable experiment. It is a living, evolving system with a deep and complex history. Each eruption is not a carbon copy of the last. It is a unique event shaped by the memory of what came before. The delay also raises a tantalizing and slightly unnerving prospect.
the robotic arm
If the
precisely
crust is
targets the
indeed
vibrant
stretching
red plume,
further,
utilizing
holding more pressure
motorized
than ever
shears to
before,
collect a
what
delicate
will happen when
biological
it
sample.
finally does break? Will the 2026 eruption, should it occur, be larger, more voluminous, more violent? The overstretched balloon, when it finally pops, does so with a much louder bang. The scientists are now watching
From the
a
deepest
system
oceans to the
that is
void of
charged
space,
with more
a
energy
constant
than they
stream
have
of
ever
data
seen it
flows,
contain.
connecting
The
our
long
world
wait
in
may be
ways
leading
never
to a
before
far more
possible.
spectacular finale.
The deep ocean
But the
remains
story of
Earth's
Axial
last
Seamount
frontier,
is not just
home
about
to
geology.
wonders like the
It is
bioluminescent.
inextricably linked with the story of life. The hydrothermal vents that dot its caldera are not mere geological curiosities. They are thriving, vibrant cities of life. powered
As the
by
research vessel
volcano's
leaves the
heat.
caldera
The
behind.
chemical energy
As the magma
discharged
pushes
from
upwards,
these
we
black
see the
smokers
incredible force of the
forms
eruption,
the base of a
sending
food
plumes
web
of superheated
that is
water
utterly
and molten
alien.
lava into the
Towering
ocean.
colonies of tube worms,
A world
some
once
several
thought
feet
barren,
long, have
teems
no
with
mouth
life.
and no
The
digestive
submersible
tract.
approaches the hydrothermal
They
vent.
live in a symbiotic partnership with bacteria inside their bodies, which convert the toxic hydrogen sulfide from the vents into nourishment. This is an ecosystem that thrives on what would be poison to us. It is a testament to life's incredible
The
tenacity,
probe has successfully
its
located the
ability to
source
find
of
a
the thermal
foothold
anomaly,
in the most
a
extreme
massive black
environments
smoker venting
imaginable.
superheated,
An
chemical-rich
eruption is
fluids.
both a cataclysm and a creation for these communities. The massive lava flows of 2015 paved over vast areas of the seafloor,
From the crushing pressures of
entombing
our own
entire
deep sea
vent fields
to the
and their
distant
unique
moons of
inhabitants.
Enceladus,
It is
these
an act of
remarkable
total
worms
destruction,
across 39
yet from
light
that
years, the
destruction
data
comes a
streamed home.
powerful rebirth. The new
This
hot rock
changes
provides the
everything.
heat source for the formation
We
of new
did it!
vents. The fresh lava leaches new chemicals and minerals into the water, providing the raw materials for a new generation of life. Within months of an eruption, microbial pioneers begin to colonize the new surfaces. Within a few years, new vent chimneys begin to grow, and the strange fauna of the deep starts to return. The delayed eruption means a longer period of
power
stability
of
for the
nature
existing
made
communities,
visible.
but it also means a delay in this cycle of rejuvenation. The volcano is the landlord of this deep-sea metropolis, and
A
its every
testament to
stir and
sustainable
shudder
design.
dictates the fate of its
This-
tenants. This
Deep
deep
beneath the
connection
city,
between
geothermal
geology and
plants
biology
tap directly into the
provides a
Earth's
compelling
heat.
model for
This
some of the most profound questions we are asking about the universe. As we look to
This
the icy
family is
moons
towered
of our solar
entirely new
system, like
system.
Jupiter's Europa or Saturn's
The energy
Enceladus,
harnessed here finds
we
its
see
origin
worlds
deep
with
below,
vast liquid
the
water
original
oceans
source of this
hidden beneath
powerful
shells of
knowledge.
ice. Scientists believe that hydrothermal vents powered by the tidal forces of their parent planets could exist on the floors of these alien seas.
Here, within
If
the
life
caldera,
can thrive
the
in the
vibrant
crushing darkness
ecosystem
of
has
Axial
completely
Seamount,
enveloped the
fueled
ancient
by
lava.
nothing but the Earth's internal fire, could it not also arise in these distant, hidden oceans? Axial is our closest analog,
By simulating
a
these
natural
scenarios,
laboratory for
we
the
can better
search for
understand the critical
extraterrestrial
pathways the
life.
magma takes before an eruption.
Understanding its rhythms
Seismic activity is critical.
part of
We need to issue the
understanding our
evacuation
own
order
place in the
immediately.
cosmos.
Alert system activated,
So the
sending
vigil
warning to all
continues.
coastal communities.
This
The
newly
data
discovered
continues to
species,
stream from the
found near
abyss,
the
a
axial
ceaseless
vent,
flow of
reminds
numbers
us that the
representing
abyss
the
still
quiet
holds many
groans
secrets.
and the slow swelling of a mountain holding its breath. The researchers watch their screens,
Far
their
from the
careers,
sunlinear surface.
intertwined with
Is
the
the black
pulse
smoker
of this
plume,
single
teeming
remarkable
with microbial
place.
life,
They are
forming the very
modern-day
foundation
augurs,
of this unique
reading the
deep-sea
entrails of the
ecosystem.
Earth,
Continuing
trying
to
to
zoom out,
decipher
the
a
entire
language
vent field
written
comes
in
into view,
pressure and
a
heat.
bustling
The
oasis of
delay
life
to
on the dark volcanic seafloor of the
2026 is not a
caldera.
failure of their science. On the contrary, it is its greatest success. It is a moment where nature has revealed a new layer of its complexity, inviting us to look deeper, to refine our understanding, to replace simple certainty
The
with
Ring
more
of Fire,
profound
a
and
70,000
nuanced
kilometer
curiosity.
arc of
This
intense
single
tectonic activity
submerged volcano
circles the
on
vast
the
Pacific
Wanda
Ocean
Ridge
basin.
is a microcosm of our entire relationship with the natural world. We strive to understand,
Earth
to
is
model,
revealed her
to
world.
predict. We build
The Earth
incredible
becomes a blue
tools and
marble.
devote our lives
Its
to the
complex
quest for
systems
knowledge.
working in harmony to support
And in
life.
doing so, we achieve moments of breathtaking
We travel through the
clarity
solar system,
when the
the sun's
universe
light
seems to
illuminating
yield
the
its
planets,
secrets to our
each a
persistence.
different outcome of
But the
planetary
planet
formation.
will always be more intricate, more dynamic,
Passing out of
and
the
more
solar system
surprising
into the Milky
than our
Way
best
galaxy,
models.
our
It
sun
will
becomes
always
one
hold
of
something in
billions of stars.
reserve. The Magma Tease of Axial Seamount is a powerful reminder that our world is not a static stage on which we live, but a living, breathing character in our
faint
story,
pulse
with
of
its own
understanding.
rhythms, its own history, and its own unpredictable future. Somewhere out in the cold, dark Pacific, the pressure continues to build. The rock is stretching, groaning under a strain it has never before known. The subterranean heart of the world is gathering its strength. We are
As you can
listening
see
more
here, the
intently
cycle
than ever
continues,
before,
a reliable
and we are
rhythm in
waiting
a
with
complex
a renewed
world,
sense
leading
of
to the
wonder
next
for the
predicted
moment
eruption
the giant
right here.
finally decides to exhale.
A place of immense power and profound secrets, patiently waiting, its story forever intertwined.